Morning, welcome to the Pick-A-Dee Pick Show. I'm your host, Dan, aka Anvil. Jump right into this. As always, dedicating the show to my boy Jerry. Used to fly that flag of the whales back there. Every time we had to get together for horse racing, football, soccer, you name it, that flag was up. Peace, bro. Wearing my Lucky Lobster shirt today, so you know everything I say today is gonna come true. Yeah, right. All right, so let's jump right into this. As usual, I'd like to start off with my defense. Again, this is about framing your ticket. You know, you could put a lot of research into team defense. It's not as predicated on how the other team does as much as like a single player. A single player can get taken out. They can be schemed out of the game. Overall defense. So I was looking through my defenses, looking at the statistics of the defenses, and one of the things that jumped right out at me was that Philadelphia is pretty high in the interceptions and the sacks. Those are your only two real guarantees in a game. You can't really count on kick returns. You can't really count on punt returns. Pick sixes, fumbles, yeah, a little bit. But, sacks, that's a pretty consistent number. Interceptions, somewhat of a consistent number, especially when you are factoring in the quarterback. So for today, what I was really looking at is Philadelphia because they're playing against an unproven quarterback. Dallas has had a run of bad luck here. Prescott goes down with a leg injury. Dalton gets his bell rung, and this guy, name's escaping me right now, but he's a 6th or 7th round draft pick. He could be the next Brady for all we know, but I don't think it's going to get started. So we're going to start off with Philadelphia as our defense. Let's see if I can select that properly over here. There we go. I guess it doesn't really want to do it for me. There we go. Oh, okay, and I've taken it out again. All right. There we go. We have a little bit of lag. Sorry about that. All right, so next thing I like to do is I like to move on to my tight end. Again, we're just trying to frame this. We're trying to get like some sort of framework to see where our average is over here. By selecting Philadelphia, our average went up from 66 to 69. That's good. So let's look at our tight ends. Got a little bit of an interesting take on this one right here. Scroll down here. Where is look at that. We're scrolling way down. Richard Rodgers, Philadelphia's tight end. They're without a tight end right now. Ertz, Goddard, they're gone. Not playing. One was traded, I believe. So we're going to go with Richard Rodgers. That's going to save us some points. And, they're playing Dallas. And, again, Dallas is a reeling team. Dallas is giving up 2 tight end touchdowns in the last game. So that kind of seems like maybe they're not exactly strong there. So we're going to save a lot of money by going with Richards. I mean, look, 5,300 versus, what's the top guy? 7,900. So, we're saving some money there. We might not get as many points as we could if we went with somebody else. But, that's just it. Let's double check right here because you can always check on these players. Make sure Goddard's really out. He is going to play. But we don't really know how much he's going to play. So we'll split some looks. But I'm not too worried about it. I think they're going to go with him. And the savings is considerable. So we get him in there. There we go. So now we got to move up to the quarterback. This is where we've obviously got to start spending a little bit of money. Can't be too cheap here. But again, you look at some of the top guys. San Francisco has a good defense against Russell Wilson. Not too worried about that. He'll probably do all right. Mahomes will do all right, but he won't have to do very much. Rodgers, I have a feeling he's going to go off because Minnesota is falling apart. They got rid of their pass rusher. See a couple different people here. They're all going to potentially have good days. You can't it's very difficult, obviously, to pick who's going to have the best day. So what you're really looking at is you're looking at who's going to have the best day for the money. And with a savings, if we go with Mahomes, right? We look at the top, it's 9,200. Rodgers, who I like, is 8,400. I could save $900 by going with Tannehill. Cincinnati has given up 8 receiving touchdowns in the last 2 games. That's 4 a game. That's pretty significant. That's the kind of trend that I'm assuming will continue. And again, Tannehill is a value. We're going to have to spend some money, but let's not throw it away when we can get value at a position, such as what we did with Rodgers at tight end. So we're going to go with Tannehill here. All right, now we really know where we're at. We bumped our average from a starting 6,600 up to 7,100. So now we can start eating into that. Again, this is where the savings start to pay off, because we can use players that we want in positions that we know are going to be productive, and we can start to spend that kind of money to do things like double ups and not allowing a running back to take away points from our quarterback. That's another thing. So we are able to afford Derrick Henry. It's gonna hurt a little bit, but we're gonna put him in because I think he's gonna have a big game against Cincinnati. They're somewhat middle of the pack in their rush defense. But again, if Tannehill gets him down there, they give it to Henry. We're not losing those points. He could throw to Henry, which will get us some double up. So I really like that. Going for our next guy now, I like Hunt because Oakland gives up the most touchdowns to running backs. So we're going to put him in. We may have to move him. We may have to look elsewhere, but we're going to see when we get into that budget. Now, with Mixon out, we have an opportunity to use somebody who's pretty low cost here. And that would be Bernard. Bernard's below our average, which I think is good. We're going a lot on this Tennessee-Cincinnati game, again, because that was what got doped up. So let's go over to our flex here. We're going to throw Bernard in there, wherever he is on the list. He's scrolling past all these people. You're going to have to leave people behind. That's just the way this game works. Where did Bernard go? Bernard was down here. He was, I believe 5,900, so we should be getting close. There he is. We're going to put Bernard in there. Okay. Now our average is at 6,300. Still only 300 below what we started at, and all we need to do now is our receiving core. And that gets to be a little bit easier because, again, we have good information on what could possibly happen in particular games. Devontae Adams was a beast last week. I don't know if that's going to repeat. So at $9,100, we're just going to throw him out. It's just the way it has to be sometimes. Tyreek Hill, I don't know if they're going to need him all that much. Metcalf, he fights alongside Lockett, who's pretty much a beast. So again, I don't know if he's worth the money. Thielen will probably get a lot of looks. Minnesota's going to need to throw the ball. They're going to need to score. So he's somebody I'm putting on the back burner right now. So let's see what we could say, where we could save a little bit of money. We start looking down here. We're looking at these opponent ratings. Who's got some juicy matchups. I mean, that's what you're looking at. You want the juicy matchups. One of the guys that I was already looking at, and he's cheap, going up against one of the worst pass defenses out there right now, Seattle, which is astounding to me. I don't know how they've fallen that far. But at 5,900, Ayuk, I mean, he's kind of a given. Debo's out, so he's one of their best options in San Francisco. I already scouted him out. I already liked him, so it's an easy trigger pull for Ayuk. And again, we're just trying to keep that average. We got 6,500, so we got to look down there. We want to save some money. We want to try to get one of them big guys, So we need to go through and we need to look at, a couple other players. Try to see what kind of value we could sniff out. Oh, man, Hilton, he's falling off. Starting to get down into some. Well, here's one guy. I like to play him because he's been really consistent. Cole Beasley. I think New England's going to be busy trying to take away Diggs, and they're going to be trying to get to Allen, and you're going to have Beasley over the middle a lot. I kind of firmly believe that. He's below our budget, so again, it kind of makes it easy on us because we're looking for people below our budget right now. So I think Beasley's worth a look. I really hate to play against New England, but I think he's the guy. We're going to put him in, and then that leaves us $7,800 for our marquee wide receiver. Let's see what we can get. What are we sniffing at here, you know? Starting to get up into some good players here. I think, Miami does all right on the road. I don't really like those Raiders there. The Rams there. Not a big fan of Amari Cooper. I have him in a season long. But look at that. We can afford Adam Thielen. See, you keep him on the back burner, you work your budget, and you see if you can get in there. We're taking some risks here. We've got an unproven talent with Rodgers. We're not taking the top defense. We're not taking the top quarterback. But what we do have here is we have a couple of the premier running backs. We have the defense that we really think is going to produce. I really think Philadelphia is going to produce. And we're going to get Adam Thielen in there. So let's review this. See, we got Tannehill. We got Tannehill in there because Cincinnati's given up 4 touchdowns each game for the last 2 games. If that trend continues, we're getting 4 touchdowns right there. We're getting 4 touchdowns. One of them, we hope we go to Derrick Henry because he's going to be complementing our quarterback. We got Hunt in there against a Vegas team that has given up the highest touchdown totals to running backs. That's great. Ayuk, Beasley. These are 2 value players that we think are going to produce in these games. Beasley might have a little harder time than Ayuk based on the defensive trends that are going on with the teams. We move down to Minnesota. Minnesota's going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to move it quickly. Rodgers, we know, is going to boom, 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 boom. Quick strike, quick strike. So they're going to have to keep up. Thielen's their best weapon out there to try to keep up. Green Bay ranks 11th in their pass defense. I'm a little bit worried about that, but, what are you going to do? You have to play the players that you think are going to get used. That's a big key is, are they going to get used? Richard Rodgers, again, we're taking a little bit of a risk here, but I like the setup. I like the value of him, and that's really the most important thing. By playing somebody like Rodgers, that allowed us to get, Hunt, Henry, Thielen, some players that we really think are really going to be involved. Then we've got Bernard. Again, we're taking advantage of an injury and picking up that cheaper option, $5,900 for him. And he's going to be active, going up against the 21st rush defense. So Cincinnati's going to try to run that ball. Tennessee's going to try to throw that ball. We know what's going to happen in that game, so we kind of isolate that game. And then our defense, Philadelphia Eagles. Really think that they really are the best choice. One of my stronger choices for the week. You don't always want to go the obvious, the expensive, the big spreads. They factor those kinds of things in. You got to look at what's been going on with the team defensively, we're talking. What's been going on? Where do they rank in sacks and interceptions? And the rest of it's just really luck ball. I mean, I'm sorry. If somebody out there can predict pick sixes and predict punt return touchdowns and fumbles that get returned for touchdowns, great. More power to you. But as far as I know, you're just guessing. So there you go. We got a ticket. We left $100 left over, and that brings me to a really key point. if you've got the team that you're confident in, and you don't have somebody else on the back burner that you can suddenly afford when you get to the end of your ticket, don't simply make a switch to try to get to zero on your budget. You're picking the best team. There is no prize for having zero salary remaining. And in fact, I would say that having a salary remaining means that you stuck to your game plan. You got the players that you wanted. You fit them in the best you could. I'm looking at my list, and I had some players written down. I had Henry, Ayak, Hunt, Adams, Tannehill, Bernard, and Rodgers. All but one of those are on my team. I had to pass on Adams. I think he'll have a big game. Not as big as he did last week. I think Rodgers is going to be able to spread it out, and he's just too expensive. So there you have it. You know, I feel pretty confident about that. This is going to be the $8,000 Sunday NFL Spike. It's a single entry. I really recommend single entry games because unless you're really willing to buy a lot of tickets, it's very hard to win solo in multiple tickets. There are a lot of people out there who will splash $100 on a game like this. They'll end up with 20 tickets. They'll end up with 5 tickets, 6 tickets, whatever number I'm sure you've seen it. But putting together combinations is the way the pros do it. I don't know about you, but myself, I don't have the kind of money to splash around on that. I've got to pick one solid ticket and try to stick with it. I hope you guys learned something out there. Good luck this week. And see you in the next episode. Laters.